All right, great. Well, hello, parents. Hey, I just thought I'd pop in and have a chat because I've been asked a question, and the question is, do I think that online learning is the way of the future for students? And quite simply, the answer is yes. All right, so that was an easy one, right? Yes, I do believe that online learning is the way forward for students. And there's a really simple reason for it, is that education evolves, education changes, and now education is more on demand. It's something that needs to be updated constantly. All right. So as I say it, as I'm talking to parents, I say this, it's like working online, your child is able to move at the speed of thought, not at the speed of the traffic going down the motorway or the road. Ooh, well, what do you mean by this one? Well, simple. Look, when I was in university decades ago, and I mean seriously decades ago, the idea was if you wanted to get a degree, well, then you had to go to the university, you had to either be within a commute distance to the university, or you had to go stay on campus, and you'd all attend lectures at a certain time, and you'd all be on the same exact spot in the book. You'd all take the tests at the same time. Of course, I'm a chemist, so you'd all do the practicals at the same time, right? Yeah, this was great during the late 80s, okay? And at this time, I noticed there was something called this like correspondence course idea where students that were working, we used to call them mature students, they were doing a career change. They could come in and they could check out a video, like recall the old VHS video of the lecture, and they could watch that, and then they could go down to a learning center and they could take the exams and they could get their degree that way. Well, yeah, this was back in the 80s. And like I said, the problem with that is that you are constricted by geographic location. You have to be close to the university. All right. Well, times have changed. COVID, I think, was awful. But one silver lining that came out of the COVID pandemic was that all of a sudden we understood the benefit. We could see the benefit of live streaming and of Zoom and of video conferencing. And this opened up an entire new realm. It kind of brought parents into a new realm of thinking, of understanding, because now they could understand that their child, they could learn online. All right. So, for example, let's say that their child wanted some tutoring in A-level chemistry. Well, it used to be that either the parent had to take the child down to one of those box store franchises in the center of town and pay some exorbitant fee, and then they sit there like 3 or 4 students around a table on a Saturday morning, and they'd get some chemistry tuition, for example. Okay, really inconvenient for the parent and really something the child didn't want to do. All right. Or the other plan was, well, you could hire a teacher that, say, they wanted to make some extra pocket money on the weekend during the evening. They'd come around to your house and you'd give them a cup of tea and they'd sit at the dining room table, and then they would teach your child some A-level chemistry, for example. All right. The point being, though, the downside of that is that again, it's constricted by geographic location, meaning that if you lived in a large city, where there was lots of teachers that worked at the high school that were willing to, come down on an evening time or on a weekend and help your child out, well, that's great. But yeah, what would happen if you didn't? Let's say that you lived in the suburbs. Let's say that you lived in a more rural area of the country, right? What exactly would you do then? And so, as I see it, there was a disparity based on geographical constraints. If you were lucky enough to be able to live close enough to a franchise tutoring center, or a teacher was willing to travel to your home, well, then your child had the advantage that tutoring gives them. Okay. But if, on the other hand, you lived on the outskirts of town, you're thinking, well, no, you didn't have that advantage. So number one, geographical constraint. Number two, though, is I think the online learning, I mean, obviously, I think it's fantastic. Look, online learning allows your child to work with teachers, to enroll in programs, to take courses, to develop an educational system, a plan that is rivaled by nothing. It's all on the internet. And so, for example, if they're working with an online tutor, well, then they can have any online tutor that they want, the best fit for them, that works with their personality and their learning style and their time constraints. Number one, it's easier on the parents because you're thinking, well, you don't have to travel anywhere. You don't have to go tidy up the dining room, before the teacher comes over. It's on Zoom. All right. So your child does get an enrichment in terms of the tutors that they can work with. Okay. But also, they can have access to learning that wouldn't be feasible. Like, for example, let's say that they wanted to attend a lecture series at a top university in the UK. All right. Well, then they either have to travel there, or on the other hand, they can beam in on Zoom and they can see the live stream of it. And so they can have opportunities that, well, when I was their age, didn't even exist. I mean, the idea was, like I said, it's like the beginning. It was like VHS video cassette. All right. Now, online learning gives your child the best opportunity to learn from tutors and to attend programs like lectures and lessons that they normally wouldn't be able to attend. But I think what it also does is that it realizes the on-demand learning aspect of education. Because look, education is always changing. It's always being updated. We need new skills, new skill sets all the time. So bottom line is that online allows your child to keep their educational skills current, up to date. And so they have the best chance of being prepared for a job, I'd say, in the workforce, or the best chance to be prepared for the next stage in their academic career, which is going to university. All right. So if you ask me, I think that online learning is the future of education, and I think it's totally fantastic for your child. It gives them so much. It gives them so many more opportunities to enrich their education, improve their skill set. All right, all in the comfort of their own home. Okay. So anyway, hope I answered the question on this one for you. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.